I guess you could probably title this one, How Many Lakes Can You Hit in One Road Trip? Alright everybody, what is up? What is up? As always, thanks for stopping by to another video today. We are out on a little bit of a road trip today with my 2022 Harley Davidson Softail Street Bob. We are up near Cooperstown, New York currently at a little pit stop at Ommegang Brewery. So we left Philadelphia at about 11:30 this morning, landed here in Cooperstown at Ommegang Brewery at about a little after 4. Pretty decent ride out of Philly into, I guess, I don't know if this would be called upstate New York, or I feel like it's kind of like central New York, I guess. But today we're gonna have a little bit of a road trip style vlog for you guys. We're gonna spend some time in upstate central New York, whatever you want to call it. We are in Cooperstown currently. Like I said, we stopped here, just grabbed a quick little beverage before we hit our hotel. We're going to take a little cruise over to the Finger Lakes. We're going to try to hit Lake Ontario. We're going to get a lot of good sights, sounds, views, talk a little bit about how the Street Bob is holding up through this road trip, and I think we might even hit 20,000 miles on the Street Bob for this trip. So like I said, Ommegang Brewery here. This is a really cool place. If you guys have ever been up around Cooperstown, New York, obviously also the Baseball Hall of Fame is up this way. This is a really cool brewery. It's kind of like a farm, really secluded, really isolated out here in the middle of nowhere. But we already got our beer. We had a little pit stop, took a drink. Now we're going to head over to the hotel. I think there's some good lake views over there, so we're going to pop on the GPS. We will catch you on the bike as we are heading over to the hotel. Alrighty guys, so like I said, leaving Brewery Ommegang there. If you're ever up this way near the Cooperstown, New York area, I would definitely recommend making a pit stop there. Really cool place. Huge brewery, like farm style type property. They do a bunch of concerts and stuff. They were actually setting up for a concert that's coming up this weekend, so really cool place. Would definitely recommend stopping by. But like I said, left Philadelphia about 11:30 this morning. It was an all-right ride to get up here. If you guys are familiar with the Philadelphia area, had to take 476 north out of Philly to 81 up through New York. And 476, 81, not really, like, I don't know, nothing special. They're all torn up. It's a lot of construction, a lot of nonsense. But once you get past all that, you get up into some really nice riding up in this area. And I'm hoping the next couple days of riding will be really nice as well. You got some little mountains, you get a lot of lakes, rivers, a lot of good scenery and things like that. So once I got out of the highway BS type of stuff, it was pretty good. I think right now for the trip we're sitting at around maybe like 250 miles or something like that. I think Cooperstown, New York is probably 250, maybe 270 miles from Philly. So that's where we are at right now with mileage. We're gonna rack up a ton more miles going through the rest of New York and to the Finger Lakes. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. We're gonna see some really pretty stuff. A lot of good riding on the bike I am expecting. So next stop, we will check in when we get to the hotel where we're staying at. Alrighty guys, so this gives you a little bit of a look at the downtown of Cooperstown. That is actually the Baseball Hall of Fame right there. I've actually been through here a couple other times. We're not going to stop at the Baseball Hall of Fame right now. I've been there before, but just kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what this downtown area of Cooperstown looks like. I guess touristy type, destination type place. It's definitely worth stopping through. Like I said, not sure you would spend like, you know, a week here or, you know, a weekend to do some stuff in the surrounding area, but definitely enough to keep you entertained for a little while. Here we go, Lakeview Motel, and there's your view. Look at that, gotta love that. All right, let's see where we pull in here. Alrighty guys, so all checked into the Lakeview Motel. It's up there on this hill. Just pulled the bike down. Obviously had to get a couple quick pictures and some video, but gives you an idea of what's going on up here in Cooperstown. Again, this is Otsego Lake, I think is how you pronounce that. Otsego. So this is really just the first of many of lakes that we are going to see on this trip. Again, we're going to try to hit Lake Ontario and then a bunch of the Finger Lakes. So we're going to run back into Cooperstown, grab a little dinner, come back to the hotel, and we will catch you in the morning as we start to head across New York, catch some of those Finger Lakes. We will see you in the morning with some more riding footage. Alrighty guys, so it is the next day. We just stopped here at this coffee shop, Purpose Coffee in Casanova, New York. Casanova, little town off of Route 20. Put in about 60 miles so far from Cooperstown. It was like a little over an hour to get here from Cooperstown, New York. It was a pretty nice ride. A lot of rolling hills, farmland over to this little town. So we got our coffee. We're gassed up. I think it's about another 30 to 35 miles to the first Finger Lake that we're going to hit. So really not too far away from where we are right now. Probably be like a 30-40 minute ride over there. So we're going to get on the road again. It's Route 20, just straight east to get over there. So we will check in when we get to that lake. I think it is Otsiko. I don't know. I'll have to double check. We'll find out when we get there. Oh, look at that. There's a nice looking lake right there. Didn't even realize that we were going to be going past that, but that's not the one we're headed to at the moment. We're going to keep heading west over to the actual Finger Lakes, and can't wait to show you guys around there. So we are currently on 20 West through the Finger Lakes region of New York State, and guys, I gotta tell you, this is what it's been like for pretty much the entire trip up here through this region. Of course, once we got off like the major highways and stuff, but it's just rolling hills and farmlands. Some of the roads are like just nice and perfectly paved like this. This is early October. We got some leaves starting to change and things, so I'm pretty excited for the rest of this ride. So stay tuned guys, we're gonna have some more good scenery like this, check out some lakes like I said, maybe some breweries, some wineries. I'm pretty excited to see what the rest of the roads, the rest of the landscape and stuff looks like up here. Alrighty guys, so we're getting closer and closer here. First Finger Lake, we can see it just a little bit through some of the trees right there. Alrighty guys, just pulled into Otsiko Lake Park. I think that's how you pronounce that. There's the bike. Bike's holding up well. I think at this point we're 350, 360 miles or something like that. But let's go ahead and take a little walk, stretch the legs out, see what's going on over here a little closer to the water. There it is, little view of the lake a little bit closer up. Got some nice hills in the background, bunch of lake houses and stuff surrounding this. Wow, look at that. That's really nice over there. Beautiful day to be riding up, out and around this area. So this is actually one of the smaller lakes I think that we'll see on this trip. As we keep going, they just keep getting bigger and bigger, but pretty cool to see. Nice beautiful area up there. We're gonna hop back on the bike, we're gonna keep going, get over to lake number 3 on this trip. Alrighty guys, on our way to the next one, and again, just give you an idea of these roads here in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes region. We're going uphill, we're going around turns, we got some bendy, windy roads, we got rocks on the side of us, we got leaves changing colors. This is some of my favorite stuff guys. So next lake, I don't even know the name of it. It is, GPS is saying about 4 miles away. Lake Scantily something, I don't even know. This is Coon Hill Road. We got some cool names up here, I know that. Alrighty guys, just pulled up to the next one. No clue how to pronounce a lot of the names of these things up here. Scanitales. We're gonna go with that. Scanitales Lake. Little town over there that we just came through. Cute little town, probably a cool little like touristy spot. Hang out at the lake and stuff. But let's go ahead and walk up and just get a little bit of a closer look at this one. Man, I know I keep saying it, but just so nice. Such a beautiful day to explore all these lakes through the Finger Lakes of New York. But you can see just so many houses and cool things to do around this one. Again, this is Scanitales Lake, I guess, is the pronunciation I'm going to go with. But again, there's the bike. We're going to keep chugging along. Let's take a look at the next one coming up. Next one's going to be Owasco Lake, a little easier to pronounce, so let's head on over there. Alrighty, approaching lake number 4. This one is in, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but this little town around it, the town of Owasco. Other little town called Auburn butts up against it too, I guess. Alrighty guys, just pulled over, taking a look at the lovely Owasco Lake up here in the Finger Lakes. Another good, pretty scene here. Man, again, you guys can see there's not a cloud in the sky up here. The temperature is about floating around 65, 68. That's about perfect riding weather for me. I know it's a little warmer down in Philly where I came from, but Another good look at this lake here. This is lake number 4 of the trip so far. I love being able to look way out there and see kind of some hills and mountains and stuff in the background. I think we have maybe 3 or 4 more lakes to go. We're about to hop back on the bike. Let's check the old phone and see what the next one is. Next one coming up will be Cayuga Lake. And then I think that's when we're actually going to head north up to Lake Ontario, then come back down to Seneca Lake and hit Watkins Glen. So that's the plan as of now. We're going to head over to Cayuga Lake. We'll check in with you guys once we get there. Alrighty, so we just went through the little town of Cayuga, and looks like we're approaching the Cayuga Lake right here. Wow, this one looks pretty large. This might be the biggest. I don't know, I think from looking at the map, this one or Seneca Lake might be the biggest of the Finger Lakes. So pull over here and take a good look at this one. Pretty large lake, pretty similar views to a lot of the rest of them. Looks like a little bit less hills, more hills or mountains over that way it seems like, but nice little park over here for people to come hang and relax. We are at the north end of this lake. We've been at the north end of most of them so far, because what I'm going to do now is we're actually going to head up north to Lake Ontario. Obviously not one of the Finger Lakes, one of the Great Lakes, so that is where we're headed next. Stay tuned for Lake Ontario, then we're going to swing down to Seneca Lake, check out Watkins Glen, end up over in Ithaca. I think that's where we're going to stay for the night, and then the next day on Thursday, make our way down back into PA, back into Philly. Let's go ahead and finish up that trek up north to Lake Ontario. Alrighty guys, so we have landed at Lake Ontario. I think if you look hard enough, you can see Canada. No, I'm just kidding, probably not. Windy as heck over here. You can see some waves flying in right there. This is some little area called Sodas Point, I guess. It kind of loops, kind of does like a loop along the lake, and there's some different stuff. I think we're gonna hop on. I see a lighthouse over there and maybe some other stuff I saw on the map. We're gonna hop on the bike, do a quick little loop through here, and see if we find anything else interesting here at Sodas Point. Here we go, some much better looking views over here. I didn't really know where to go. I just pulled over at that one spot over there to take a picture. But okay, so now we're pulling out into Sodas Point Park, it looks like. Oh, here we go. This is pretty cool. We got some cliffs over there. We got the lighthouse over there. Looks like a walkway. You can actually walk all the way out to it. Don't think I really have time for that today. A little beach, a little park. Lake Ontario. I've never been to Lake Ontario. Been to Lake Erie for the Great Lakes, but not Ontario. So this is kind of cool. Cross this one off the bucket list. But once we get out of this Sodas Point area, we've got about an hour and a half to the next location, wherever we decide to eat around Seneca Lake. So we will go ahead and check back in there to see what's going on down at Seneca Lake. Alrighty guys, so here we are. We have reached our final lake destination for this Finger Lakes trip. This is Seneca Lake. We're at the north end, little town called Geneva, and Watkins Glen is down at the south end. That's where we're going to head in just a moment. But I think this might be my favorite one so far. Something about the blue. All different shades, all different colors of blue in this one. This one just looks really pretty. I really like this one. Seneca Lake here at the Finger Lakes in New York. So we ended up hitting like 7 or 8 different lakes. Let me pull up the phone. I don't even remember the name of all of them. So we were over in Cooperstown. We got Otsego, and then we came across over here. And then we started at Otisco. This one I can't pronounce. Skaneateles Lake. Then we went over to Owasco Lake. Then we went over to Cayuga Lake. Then we went up to Lake Ontario. And then now we are here at Geneva, New York, Seneca Lake. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lakes in one trip. Cramming a lot of sightseeing of bodies of water into this one. But like I said, this is the last lake for this trip. We're going to head down the east side of the lake. There's a couple breweries, winery over there that I want to stop at. Maybe we'll check in with some video over there, but most likely we will restart this one in the morning down in Ithaca, New York, and then from there we're going to go down into the north central part of PA. I think there's a couple sites that we might stop out there, and then we'll wrap it up when we get back to Philly. Alrighty guys, next stop here is Two Goats Brewing. We're going to check this place out. Look at the views all around this place. There's so many wineries and stuff up off this main road. Wineries and breweries all facing this way. Looks like they all have these giant decks looking out over the lake, so you can take a look at that view out there. Gonna run in here, grab a drink, grab some food, and then probably head the rest of the way to Ithaca. Alrighty guys, so day 3, we're getting ready to head back to Philly. Just stopped over at Finger Lakes Harley Davidson. Not a huge shop, but the showroom floor, man, was really packed with bikes. A lot of used ones, a lot of brand new ones. I was surprised how many they fit in there. But anyways, we stopped over there on the way back. Just stopped over across the street at this dandy gas station, grabbed a quick snack, grab some gas. The bike is over here. We're gonna stop probably at one more pit stop in Wyalusing, PA. Show you guys this scenic overlook that looks pretty cool over there. And then that'll probably be the last one until we get back to Philly. I think we have about 250 miles total from this spot to get back to Philly. So next spot's gonna be this, hopefully this scenic overlook. We'll check in with you guys when we get there. Alrighty guys, so just pulled over for the last thing that we're gonna stop and take a look at on this trip. Here's the bike holding up good all the way out of the Finger Lakes. This is a scenic overlook in Wyalusing, Pennsylvania, off of Route 6. Pretty crazy. Pennsylvania is so vast, man. You don't really think of that when you think of Pennsylvania, but just so much farmland out here in some of these rural areas. Pretty cool spot if you're ever traveling across the northern part of PA. Route 6 travels actually pretty much the whole way across the state, and you really get a lot of views like this the whole way, all the way over into western PA. But this is the last thing that I had to stop and take a look at on this trip. Again, one more look at the bike. So again, our final stop is going to be back home in Philly. We've got about another 160 miles to go. It's going to take us a little over 3 hours, I think the GPS said, to do that. So we will check in to wrap this one up when we get back to Philly. Alrighty guys, so we have arrived back in Philadelphia. We went from the land of lakes, rivers, and green mountains to Philadelphia with trash everywhere, so that's always to be expected. But we made it back. It was a great trip. Let's go ahead and turn on the bike here, turn on the trip, see exactly how many miles we went through. I did roll over 20,000 on the bike during that trip, so we're at 20,099 miles. So pretty happy about that. We'll have a 20K review coming up soon probably. But if we hit trip A, 794 miles on that trip is about 2.5 days. Again, that was through upstate New York, Cooperstown, over to the Finger Lakes, up to Lake Ontario. So pretty awesome trip, pretty happy with it, glad to be back. That was about 2.5 days, like I said. So if you guys have any questions about anywhere we went on that trip, any questions on the bike, anything like that, feel free to drop them down in the comments. I'm gonna go ahead and rest up. Of course, as always, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. As always, ride safe out there. Make it a good one, guys. It's the Moto John. We'll see you on down the road. Peace.